If you like sci-fi, war dramas, and fighter jets, you might want to check out Yukikaze. Yukikaze is a 5-part OVA, came out between 2002 and 2005. It was produced by Gonzo. This was recommended to me by Steven Ransom. Thank you for the recommendation. Steven actually has his own YouTube channel. Be sure to check it out. The guy definitely has good taste, great taste in anime, if you couldn't already tell by the Vash the Stampede avatar. Yukikaze though, man, I'm about to lose whatever credibility I might have had as an anime reviewer. This is an award-winning anime based on an award-winning book, and I just kind of thought it was okay. There were some things I liked about it, some things that I didn't like so much about it. Let's talk about it. So Yukikaze is the name of this jet, this fighter jet that has an AI system in it. It's an intelligent plane, and it's piloted by Lieutenant Fukai. Fukai seems to have some sort of special connection with this jet, and the story follows him and his buddy, Major Bukar, as they are fighting against this alien force known as the Jam. This is set in the future where this portal opened up over Antarctica, and it sort of acts as a bridge between Earth and this alien planet called Fairy. Ever since the portal opened up, aliens began attacking Earth, and humans have been at war with the Jam for these 33 years. And in fact, the UN has gone through the portal and set up bases on this alien planet Fairy. The war rages over there. Meanwhile, over these 3 decades, humans have kind of stopped believing in the war. They've kind of just gotten this idea that it's all fake, it's not really happening. Meanwhile, we're watching these people fighting this war, putting their lives on the line, and it's very hard on them because back home it's like nobody even believes in them, and there's a lot of complexities going on in the plot here for sure. We see some really cool aerial combat scenes, lots of cool action scenes. If you're into jets, if you like stuff like Top Gun, and you would like to see that in anime form, then hey, this might be right up your alley. This thing's around 20 years old, but I think it holds up really well. The animation is really quite impressive. It has a blend of 2D hand-drawn stuff. All the characters and environments are all typical two-dimensional anime drawings and things, but then the ships themselves, some of these, aerial flight sequences, all of that is CGI, and I talk about this all the time, how I'm not a big fan of CGI in anime, but it didn't bother me in this one. I think it looked really impressive and it worked really well. It just all fits in very well because, yeah, they wanted the most realistic depictions that they could possibly make of these jets, and there's some really impressive stuff we're seeing, even when it comes to like the sort of computer displays that the pilots are looking at, and we see stuff through kind of the cockpit vision sometimes, and it kind of looks like a really modern video game, which is saying something for something that came out 2 decades ago. It all looks really impressive. It's an interesting plot, like I said, a lot of complexities, a lot of, human drama, and we see just the struggles these people are going through kind of interpersonally, and the stuff that's going on in their mind. We see drama unfolding within this organization and problems with each other, and they have, the aliens are able to sort of, without spoiling too much, what do we see in the beginning? The aliens are sort of able to pretend to be humans or corrupt humans or something. We don't know until later on exactly what these aliens are, what exactly they're capable of, but something's going on and it's confusing the heck out of everybody. There's a lot of instances where these people don't know if they're fighting aliens or if they're fighting their fellow humans, and there's a lot going on. Meanwhile, there's the relationship between Lieutenant Fukai and Major Bukar, and, they're best buds to the point where they're also roommates, and we see, Bukar's always looking out for Fukai, but Fukai's going through some stuff mentally and depression, and it's just really rough times, and so there's that whole dynamic. I think the plot is really interesting, and the action scenes can be very cool as well. I just feel like it was a little hard to follow sometimes. I needed to look back, and think, wait, what's going on here? I'm really confused. And after I watched it, I was kind of reading over the synopses again of the episodes, and I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense now. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. Because I feel like watching it, though, I just was having a hard time following it, understanding what was going on. Part of that may have been purposeful because a lot of it isn't spelled out until the end. However, it also might have been I was having a little bit of a hard time paying attention or just really getting into it. I would call this a slow burn for sure, even though there are lots of, dogfights throughout the entire series. The very beginning of it has us seeing these jets, blowing up other ships and things, and it's a lot of action, but I feel like as far as the story and the character development, character interactions, everything's very serious, a little dry. There's no humor in this thing whatsoever. It's all business. It's all very, very dramatic. The protagonist, Fukai, he doesn't really talk that much. He doesn't show a lot of emotion other than this sort of depressive episode that we see towards the beginning. It's not until halfway through and later where we really kind of see him open up a little bit. Before that, he was just kind of hard to love and hard to care about, and I just kind of felt that way about a lot of the characters. I didn't really care about them. As we go on, it gets better, and you do start to see more of the relationships in here, and you do care in as you see more of what's really going on with this whole scenario and the war. Of course, the ending is very exciting and action-packed and kind of revolutionary. There's some big revelations, I'm sorry, that happen toward the end that kind of turn things on their head, and it's all very exciting. I just feel like it was kind of a slog getting to that point, and I just had a really hard time getting into it. Now that's just me, and maybe I'm used to watching more lighthearted stuff, more fast-paced, more mindless stuff sometimes. I thought it was a bit slow for a good chunk of the thing, and I just didn't care about the characters involved very much, and I was confused about what was going on. At the end, though, it all pretty much makes sense, and I do care about the characters thinking back on them now. It just took a while to get to that point. Like I say, a slow burn, right? It's deliberately slow as it builds up to this climactic point. And so go into this thing with some patience. And also, if you really love fighter jets and things like that, then yeah, you're going to love this. Most people did love this. As I say, it's award-winning. I was kind of looking at user reviews after I watched it to see, did anybody feel the same way I did? Some people did. The majority of the people really liked it a lot, though, so I think I'm in the minority here, feeling a little lukewarm about it. At the end, I'm glad I watched it. It definitely had a lot going for it. Thanks again to Steven Ransom. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention? I was just going to mention this as well. There is a little spin-off parody thing that exists. I watched Yukikaze on Tubi for free. Everybody can watch it on Tubi for free, at least in the States. I don't know if that's a regional thing or it might not be available in your country, but they also have this other single episode called, what is it called? Fighting Fairy Girl, Rescue Me, Maeve-chan. I don't know, it goes by different names depending on the translation, but this is sort of a meta isekai spin-off parody thing. It was one episode where this guy's going to an anime convention and he's a fan of the Yukikaze anime, and somehow he stumbles through this door into another world where he's inside Yukikaze, except all the jets are actually girls, and I don't know, it's more of a curiosity than anything. I think if you're a fan of Yukikaze and you just want to see something very silly and different, then there you go. But I don't know, it exists. Just throwing it out there. Anyways, Yukikaze, check it out if you like the sound of it, if you like the look of it. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. You have a good one. I will see you next time.